Welcome once again. This is Module 1D of our course HIS 314 War and Diplomacy in Europe. We have gone through Module 1A, we've gone through Module 1B, 1C. Now, Module 1D will be covering the topic the causes of the First World War. Now, in dealing with the topic, the causes of the First World War, we'll be going back and forth, trying to look at some of the things that took place in some of the other modules in order to build up the sequence to the causes of the First World War. Now, there are many causes, of course, there are several causes of the First World War, but we will look at the immediate causes and try to extrapolate remote causes from those immediate causes as we continue to explain this particular aspect of the cause. To start off, we will look first at imperialism as one of the key causes of the First World War. Now, in our previous classes, we've attempted to look at what the world looked like in the late 1880s and 1890s. If you remember clearly in some of the other courses that you've taken that bordered on colonialism and imperialism, you discover that the world at this point in time, especially Africa, had been overrun by European powers who had colonized, most of the territory in Africa, in South America, in Asia, and even in North America. Now, the key European powers that had gone out to colonize most of this territory we can see here happen to be the British Empire. That's one, the British Empire. Now, we also had the Spanish Empire, then the French Empire, which of course is a republic. We also have other very important groups like the German Empire, the Belgian, and also the Ottoman Empire, who had colonized, different countries and territories at this point in time. Now, this particular phenomenon of imperialism and colonization became one of the key elements in the causes of the First World War because the competition between these imperial powers increased, especially in Africa. The competition and the tension between these imperial powers increased, and there were greater possibilities of clashing, okay, between these imperial powers in their colonial interest. And one of the most prominent of these clashes were clashes that were taking place between the French and the Germans, clashes between even the French and the British. But eventually, the British and the French were able to reach some form, of compromise, between the challenges that they found, that came up between themselves between 1904 and 1907. Now, but all these different interests that the European powers had in colonial territories brought them at loggerheads and created a lot of tension, which presented one of the key backgrounds to the First World War. And we can also bring to bear the clash between Italy and France in North Africa, also France and Germany in North Africa. These clashes were some of the precursors to the tensions that developed and created a very tense atmosphere in Europe. And another very important cause of the First World War was the alliance systems. And we remember in the past module, which we studied, we remember the alliance system that was created by Prince Otto von Bismarck in his attempt to isolate France. And this alliance system, which was known as the Triple Alliance, involving involving Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Russian Empire, was an alliance system that effectively isolated France, so that France will not have strategic or diplomatic relations with other countries that can enable them fight with Germany. So Bismarck did all this in an attempt to protect Germany or to prevent war and maintain status quo in Europe. However, this creation of alliance system were to later become counterproductive in the sense that the uh, the resignation of Prince Otto von Bismarck as the German Chancellor in 1890 created a loophole in the alliance systems. What was this loophole? What happened was that after Bismarck resigned in 1890, the new Kaiser of Germany, that's Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany, did not appreciate the Dreikaiserbund, that is the Three Emperors League, and also the reinsurance treaty that Bismarck had created between Austria, Prussia, sorry, Austria, Germany, and Russia. So he did not renew in 1894. He did not renew this reinsurance treaty between the German Empire and the Russian Empire, and this opened up, Russia for any other alliance, especially with France. Now, France, who had been in the cold for a while now, saw this as an opportunity. The fact that relations with between Russia and the German Empire were not what it's supposed to be under Prince Otto von Bismarck gave France the opportunity to approach, Russia and create an entente and a sort of a friendship between France and Russia. And this entente, this friendship between France and Russia was cemented by loans, by monies that the French people were giving to the Russians in order to boost up their industrialization and also their agricultural ventures. Now the Russians were very interested in these monies, and it created a very good platform for this friendship to mature between France and Russia. So for the first time, we see France being lifted out of isolation and coming into strategic relationship with with Russia. Now, this strategic relationship was going to later on blossom, okay, into another entente, what we refer to as the entente cordiale between France and Britain. Now, how did this happen? Now, this happened uh, because of increasing German militarism, especially in the colonial or in the spheres of imperialism. Britain began to collide with Germany on different aspects of imperialism, especially on the African continent, and the two powers, that is Britain and France, began to see reason for them to come together, in agreement and have better cordial relationships because they had been on the continent for a very long time. They had been the key powers on the continent of Africa for a long time, and Germany was just a new, entrant into this power play. So by 1904, Germany, by 1904, Britain and France entered into an entente cordiale, a friendly relationship that would make them stronger and be able to face the incursion of Germans into the continent of Africa. Now, at this point, the first part of module 1D is going to end, and then we'll continue subsequently with the same topic in the second part of this particular module.